So, oh, the music, everybody. Cheers, the FF Select screen. It's been a long time, friends, but the music is back, and we are back in Scorpion Swamp. Game Book 8 in the Fighting Fantasy series. I believe in this adventure we get to choose whether to be good, neutral, or evil, so we can decide together. Scorpion Swamp is a fighting fantasy game book, an interactive adventure in which you are the hero. You can only win by choosing the correct path, finding equipment, avoiding traps, and surviving combat. There are 3 possible quests in Scorpion Swamp. What a bargain. This was £3.49 online. For each of the quests, there is one true path that is best to follow. Before embarking on your adventure, you must determine your own strengths and weaknesses with a series of dice rolls. You have in your possession a sword, a chainmail shirt and a backpack, as well as a few pieces of gold for incidental expenses. You've been preparing for your quest by training yourself in swordplay and exercising vigorously to build up your stamina. You must first choose from one of 3 difficulty settings. This gamebook has been designed for optimum challenge on the adventurer difficulty mode. For newcomers to fighting fantasy, we recommend adventurer or free read modes. For older readers already familiar with printed versions of this gamebook, we recommend hardcore hero mode. Oh no, we have not chosen the adventure difficulty. No, we are not going to play adventurer difficulty. Will says, hey, you have nearly as many subscribers as Liz Truss. Don't sell yourself short. Tony says, no tech problem. We would know you've been replaced by a pod person. Exactly. Capri says, oh my, no chaotic neutral. Happy Haribo says, we have a sketchy survival record for these adventures as a Grimdark Buddies collective. We do. How do we change this? Is it going to give us the option? Will says, we are always chaotic, but now we can also be neutral. Options. Book. Player? Should we change our picture for this? Let's choose a new name. We've been Tillian Well. Does anybody have any picture preferences? Oh, look, it's an Australian company, Sean. I always like this one, but she looks so mean. Who's this guy? What's his name? Chuck somebody. This lady looks expensive. The rhino face. Elves may be triggering to some, I agree. I don't know if I want to be Rhino. This boy band member, he's not going to get far, surely. He looks like a tough dwarf type. Chuck Norris, yeah, Phil Collins, indeed. Let's go for this one. What should we call ourselves? We've got Pew Pew Barney McGrew, so we could be called Cuthbert. Okay, so that's sorted out that. But it won't let us choose a different mode. Liz Truss. No, we're not going to invoke that name. Okay, so it's making us choose adventurous mode, which is very distressing. Okay, let's do some cheating and roll our starting stamina. Yay! Your roll of 9 plus a base of 12 means your stamina is 21. Hooray! We'll take a 5. Skill is 11. Let's roll our luck. Woo! Yay! Luck is 12. Looking good. Statistically, we are primed. Isn't adventurer the mode we normally use? Sean, I normally try and use like free play, like baby mode. David says, meet Dundee if we're messing about in a swamp with crocs. Next, you need to know about magic. You will play a fighter in Scorpion Swamp. However, you will almost certainly find yourself given the power to cast magical spells before the adventure is over. If you deal with a wizard, he may give you spell gems. Each gem gives its owner the power to cast one spell, one time, then the gem vanishes. Oh, okay. So it's a one-stop shop. There are 12 different magic spells that you may be able to use. They are described in the rules section of this book. When you acquire a spell gem, it will be added to your adventure sheet. Okay? If you have the chance to choose which spells you get, you may choose any kind of spell more than once. For instance, you could choose 4 fire spells if you wanted to. If that happens, you can cast fire 4 times, but no more, unless you meet another helpful wizard later and acquire more spell gems. Interesting. Magical spells are divided into 3 types: good, evil, and neutral. Anyone may use neutral spells, however, good wizards may not cast evil spells and vice versa. You may use any spell that you can get, but you will not be able to get good spells from an evil wizard or evil spells from a good wizard. Okay, time to read the background. Hardy adventurer that you are, you've never been known to quail at a little danger, but you're no fool. You've always been far too wise to venture into Scorpion Swamp. All your life you've heard tales of that awful marsh and its disgusting denizens. But the real danger of the swamp, so the tales go, is not the creatures that inhabit it, nor even the magicians and wicked men who haunt its paths. No, the reason that so few return from Scorpion Swamp is very simple. The swamp is crisscrossed by numerous trails that twist and turn in all directions. No one has ever mapped them and lived to tell the tale. An evil fog hides in the sky, so no one can set a course by the stars. Once you're well into the swamp, even compasses are unreliable. They may point north, west, or south by southeast, leading you around in circles until you drop from exhaustion. So you have stayed well away from the swamplands, but although you don't know it yet, something is about to happen to change your fortunes. As you walk along the King's Highway, you come upon an old woman crumpled in the dust. You carry her into the shade and give her a drink from your water skin. She soon revives, but you walk with her into the next town just to make sure that she will be all right. You take your leave of her in the town marketplace. Bless you for your kindness, she says, when you part. Wear this with my good wishes, and may you never lose your way. With that, she gives you a plain-looking brass ring. When you slip it on your finger, smiling your thanks, it feels loose. An hour later, as you walk down the highway again, you realise it has altered its shape to fit you perfectly. You have a magic ring. Woo! As you travel, you learn more about the brass ring's powers. The old woman must have been a powerful witch, and she meant her blessing seriously. While you're wearing the brass ring, you will always know which way is north. Even in the deepest forest or the twistiest town street, you will never be lost. Furthermore, the brass ring grows warm on your finger in the presence of evil, even when you are greeted in a friendly fashion. You spend a week with the forest bandits. Rough men, but honest in their way, and the ring is cool. But in the caverns it warns you of evil magic and of foul undead. And in the towns you find that no clever thief or lying merchant can fool you. The old woman's gift is valuable indeed to an adventurer like you. Now you feel as though you ought to put the brass ring to some use worthy of its magic. Exploring Scorpion Swamp with its unmapped maze of trails might be the perfect task. And it might be profitable too. So with your mind set on glory and treasure, you set off towards the bogs and fens of Scorpion Swamp. Wow, I'm excited. I'll turn over. The path that you must travel is a long one. Look at this illo, how beautiful. For Scorpion Swamp lies to the far west of the kingdom. As you travel, you have many experiences that a less seasoned traveller would call adventures. To you, fighting orcs and goblins, defying evil wizards and slaying giant wolves are all in a day's work. As you travel farther west, the mountains around you turn to hills, the hills to plains, and the plains to damp lowlands. You know that Scorpion Swamp cannot be far away. When you enter the little town of Fenmarge, no one finds you remarkable. Many travellers pass through here. Your sturdy helmet and sharp sword indicate you are a fighter not to be trifled with, but this is not uncommon. But when sitting in the local tavern, you announce your plan to explore the swamp, the listeners are dumbfounded. They cluster around you, pushing back the battered benches to make room. The swamp, they tell you, holds the bones of many such as you. Not only is it trackless and infested with vermin, monsters and starving bandits, but a group of wizards calling themselves the Masters recently claimed Scorpion Swamp for their own. One of them, a big burly man escorted by 2 great grey wolves, visited this very tavern last week. He didn't say much, they tell you, but he didn't seem the sort to welcome trespassers on his property. As the conversation continues, you realise that the villagers are sure you will die in the swamp. We can't let you go, they say. One even makes so bold as to put his callous hand on your shoulder to restrain you as you start to walk out the door. Okay, will we challenge them for their impertinence? Or will we politely explain that we are determined? Oh, a day when we need the most polite man of the chat, Mark Hayward. He is not here. There are 19 of us, trusted companions. Shall we challenge them or politely explain? Dom says, what holds the record for the most times dying on this channel? My money's on House of Hell. I think if we're talking fighting fantasy, it's definitely House of Hell. Will says, okay, bogs and fens are not the same thing. Bogs are acidic and filled by rain. Fens are basic fens and fed by underground water. Thank you, Will. It's good to know these things. Happy Haribo says, the cat has just tried to drink my Pepsi Max. Luckily, she could only, I don't know what that means. P.S. Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs much in that picture. Dom says, stay in the tavern, drink beer. Happy Haribo says, let's stay in the tavern and drink with villagers. Caprice says, determined. Alex says, politeness. Tony says, was he a Space Wolf Marine? Will says, be polite. Tony Holton says, watch out for hotkeys. We are not picking up any hotkeys in this adventure. Well, that's 2 votes for polite. I should say, in the past, when we've played fighting fantasy quests together, there's been quite a lot of memberships being gifted, and I would like to encourage that to start happening again in the chat, please. Lots and lots of memberships have expired, and we're losing our Grimdark buddy memberships, which makes me very paranoid. So yeah, if anyone feels like gifting some memberships, fighting fantasy seems to be the time to do it. Tony also says polite, please. The villagers shake their heads as you turn towards the door, but make no further attempts to dissuade you. But before you reach the door, a villager blocks your path. Uh-oh. He is a short, middle-aged fellow with a black beard cut square across the bottom. At first, woo! Yay, Alex! Thank you so much. We have called and the gods of YouTube have heard. Congratulations to our lovely long-standing Jen Faye Age, Stuart Thorpe, congratulations, Spaniard SPQR Apeman 371 and Nodon YouTube. Congratulations, you've all received a Miramanga Grimdark Buddies membership from the amazing Alex Sinclair, who is the first ever Miramanga YouTube member. Oh, and Gal Miraz, thank you so much for renewing your Dreadnought membership. Thank you so much, Gal Miraz. And also, Gal Miraz, I believe you're the one who sent us the poetry book, Staying Alive, from the Amazon wishlist. So thank you so much for the poetry. Appreciate that. Thank you. You all know that I absolutely hate asking for the donations bit of the channel, but I quite often get texts from my mentors saying, you need to mention this now. So thank you so much. Sean says, woo, Alex, and yay, Alex, woohoo! Alex says, pre-Christmas memberships. You are the Santa Claus of the channel, thank you. Congratulations, new members, that's so lovely. I'm so excited, thank you. Oh, yay! Oh my gosh! Neil, the King in Yellow, has returned as Dreadnought Buddy. Glad to be back in Fighting Fantasy World. I know a lot of people really missed it. We did take a little cul-de-sac with our with our adventures into the Drifter, which I think we all enjoyed, but it's nice to be back in these books, isn't it? Let us continue into the swamp. Thank you so much. So lovely to see you, King in Yellow. And thank you for renewing. Aww. Happy Haribo says, Alex Sinclair, you rock and it's a good cause, but don't get broke. Galmaraz, thank you. 5 Mirror Manga gift memberships. Oh my goodness, Galmaraz, thank you so, so much. Welcome. Oh, congratulations, Dave the Rave, you remember again. Waribiero, congratulations, you remember. Emerista, congratulations, you're a Mirror Manga Grimdark Buddies member. Bad Motivator 3424, welcome, you are also a member. Jacob Hibbert, 1555, congratulations and welcome to Mirror Manga's Grimdark Buddies. What a fantastic, thank you so much, Galmaraz. That's absolutely bloody lovely, thank you. And Nige Nogrot. The lovely Nige was in hospital with an incredibly scary head injury, which required him to go for a CT scan. So we're so, so glad you're here with us, Nige. I'm so sorry you've just missed being gifted a Mirror Manga YouTube membership. But Nige, we're really glad that you're here and that you're safe and healthy and hopefully you're not massively concussed. Lovely to have you on a Sunday evening. I know you're normally busy with the family. So welcome, Nige. We're glad you are okay. And with emboldened by the memberships, of which we have had 2 Dreadnought renewals and 10 gift memberships. Thank you all so much, and let us continue into Scorpion Swamp. The villagers shake their heads as you turn towards the door, but make no further attempts to dissuade you. But before you reach the door, a villager blocks your path. He's a short, middle-aged fellow with a black beard cut square across the bottom. At first you take him for a farmer, but he seems more interested in you than any farmer should be. He takes your arm and leads you into a table in the corner of the tavern. The others have gone back to their chatting, and you find yourself willing to hear what this quiet man will say to you. He introduces himself as Gronar. If you really intend to brave the terrors of the swamp, he says, you ought to have some purpose rather than random mapping and beast slaying. Sounds like it could be a swamp crawl versus a mission of purpose. What do we think, people? What do we think, Grimdark Buddies? Do we agree with him or do we disagree? Please make your voices heard. And let's take a vote in the chat. Shall we agree we need to have some higher purpose, or do you disagree? We should just random map and slay the beasts we come across. Tony and Galmaraz and Alex and Will are all sending Nige some healing sentiments and welcomes. We're all pleased to have you here. Will is saying agree with him. So Will, Dom, the Vintage Valkyrie. Hello! The Vintage Valkyrie is my dear friend Ipek. She makes very, very cool cult jewellery on her Etsy. The Vintage Valkyrie, and also Ipek and I used to play D&D together and I love her so very much. Ipek, you just missed some of the Mirror Manga YouTube memberships, but hang on in there. You never know, we might get some more gifted later today. Thank you so much for having us. Wait, here we go. So it looks like everybody is saying we agree with Gronar, apart from Tony, who's worried that it could be Gulnar's brother and we should not trust him. Unfortunately, we go with the majority rules here, so we're going to agree with Gronar. You agree with Gronar. Your journey would be much more interesting if you had a mission to accomplish as well. He nods. There are 3 men in this village now, he tells you, who cannot go into the swamp themselves, but each one has need of a strong fighter willing to venture there. The first of the 3 is an old wizard devoted to the cause of good. He stops to quaff a long draught from his mug. Draught? He stops to quaff a long draught from his mug. What is the correct pronunciation? A long draught or a long draught? I feel like when I don't have a headache, I know the answer to this. If you want to hear him out, please say here in the channel. If you want to interrupt him, to say you will only serve good, please type good. So we're going to have here or good, and then you will decide. You all know what I would prefer, but I will not influence or taint your vote. So here or good. Happy Haribo says, we could stay in the pub. Tony says draft, and Nige says draft. He stops to quaff a long draught from his mug. Pigeon says draft like military or the wind. She's like the wind through my cheese. Hello, Pigeon. Welcome. Philip Collins. It's so lovely to have you back in the chat, Philip. Tony says, sorry, not Tony. Happy says, we could, it must be said, stay in the pub, just saying. Tony says here. Nigel says good. And Dom says here. So it seems like a lot of us would like to hear what he has to say. David Gibb, Nige, Philip Collins and Pigeon Smith. So lovely to see you in the chat. Hopefully somebody will gift some more of those magical memberships and we can go green completely. It's so lovely to have so many. Nige says, could be a mug of tea. Happy Haribo says, I agree, it's your round. Can we just talk about, I had a date, I'm trying to date, and I had a date with a man on Wednesday evening, and he took me to a pub, and it was horrible because A, I don't drink alcohol, and B, the pub was so loud, I couldn't hear him, and he was shouting at me and I was saying, I can't really hear, it's really loud in here, and he was spitting when he was shouting. He also wore a baseball cap inside the whole time. Yeah, so I'm not going to stay in the pub on this quest. I'm sorry, Happy Haribo, not the one for me. Oh, Fat Rascal is in the chat! Fat Rascal! Woohoo! Fat Rascal has sent 10 Mirror Manga Grimdark Buddy YouTube memberships. Oh my god! Oh my god! Fat Rascal, a quiet return, unannounced, sneaking in to gift bomb us with 10 Mirror Manga YouTube memberships. This is unseen, unprecedented. Grimdark Buddy fan club. Woohoo! Flaming heck. Oh my goodness, I wish I could still turn the screen into those emojis like we used to have. I need to figure out how to do that again. Thank you so much, Fat Rascal. So lovely to have you here. Oh, Phil says, thank you, tough year, but I've usually given a thumbs up on the live screens, even if I haven't been around. Phil, I'm sorry you've had a bad 2025. Me too. Let's hope 2026 is much better. And we're always here for you, Phil. So if you just want to dip in and say hi, let us support you. Let us look out for you. Caprice says, oh no, poor call there, date guy. Tell me about it, Caprice. PBA69, Jockcop 4205, Stephen Bozenell 14. I'm not going to read the numbers. Tez George, Pork Chop, Water Polo, Chris Gledo, 5 Monkeys, Gene Pix, and the Dome. Congratulations, everybody. Welcome to Mirror Manga YouTube membership. We're so happy to have you here. Please join us on our quests as we adventure through Scorpion Swamp. Fat Rascal says, sorry for the prolonged absence. I have been on a bit of a vision quest. We would love to hear about that, Fat Rascal. Thank you so much. David Gibb says, hat on inside means insecure about his hairline. Oh, I think, well, I don't want to judge, but I just thought, take your hat off, mate. Fat Rascal says, lots of love to all. Fat Rascal, lots and lots of love to you too. Thank you. That is epic. That's the first time we've ever had 10 memberships given out in a row. And thank you to all the people who are watching. Taking someone who doesn't drink to a pub is short-sighted, says Dom Elf Kicker. Also, Mirror Manga, I saw a podcast on YouTube where Rick Priestley discusses the pop culture that influenced Warhammer. I think you'd like. Oh, I think I would like. Happy Haribo says, I think he's a wrong and an abounder. My favourite pub is a quiet and has cute doggies in it and middle-aged college lecturers. Baseball caps are rare. Bring your next date there. I don't know if dating in a pub is fun for me. But thank you. I do think quiet places are good. Yeah. And middle-aged lecturers. Yeah, I don't know what that would add to the ambience, but I will bear it in mind. Thank you. Okay, let's hear him out. Gronar orders another pitcher of ale and settles back into his chair. Celator is the good wizard, he says. Grimslade appears to serve the forces of evil, though a simple man like myself cannot be sure about such things. And Poomchucker is a very strange fellow indeed. You don't say. No one knows much about him, but he is powerful. Each of them has made it known that he seeks a champion to enter the swamp. More than that you will not learn without visiting them. Well, well, well. Well, inspectors, will we help the good wizard Zelator? Will we risk aiding the forces of evil, if the prophet is right, and visit the sinister Grimslade? Or will we take our chances with the mysterious Poomchucker? Alexa, turn living red. Alexa, turn light red. Will we risk aiding the forces of evil if the prophet is right and visit the sinister Grimslade? Alexa, turn light white. Will we help the good wizard Zelator? Alexa, turn light purple. Or shall we take our chances with the mysterious Poomchucker? For the lols on the name. Please do make your votes now. Will we be good with Zelator, evil with Grimslade, or mysterious Poomchucker? Nige asks the question we always hoped that no one would ask, so what is a poom? Nigel, if I have to answer that for you, your biology teacher has not done their job. Dom said, imagine taking a vegan on a date to a dog fight. Hey, exactly. Tony says Poomchucker. David says coffee, cake and a walk are good for first dates. Phil says Grimslade. Phil, the forces of evil have tempted you. Galmaraz says, sounds naughty, but I'm not looking that up. Well done, Galmaraz. You are good. Caprice, I want to do the right thing, but Poomchucker, I got to see what that's about. David Gibb. David Gibb agrees. It's got to be the Poomchucker. Nige agrees. Pigeons agrees. Willen agrees. Tony says, is he a mate of Elf Kicker, this Poomchucker? Nige is Googling it right now. Nige, I hope you've got safe search on. The Vintage Valkyrie says, Poomchucker for sure, thank you, Ipek. Dom says, evil, wait, is Skeletor good now? Alex says, I mean his name's Poomchucker. I have to know what he's up to. Do we? Must we know? Let's take our chances. Okay, 1 second. I just want to check in and remind everybody, I love you all, in the words of Ozzy Osbourne, I love you all, you're all fucking mad. But this is a PG-13 channel. So yes, we can go on a quest for Poomchucker. That's how we work. We are a diplomatic. We are a commune. You know, we decide things together. Please, please, please remember it's a PG-13 channel. I have wee nieces who sometimes watch, and those of gentle sensibility. So we will keep the light purple for Poomchucker. Let's just say this side of the PG range. Yeah. And now we can continue our quest. And yes, I am aware of the irony that I said the F word when explaining that. Hooray! Lovely to have you all here. Phil Collins says, when this goes wrong, as we know it will, remember I was the only one to go Grimslade. Well, Phil, we might come back and replay this adventure. So, yeah, it looks like this is Poomchucker, and look at his bookcase. A veritable delight of magical books, casks, candles, and sadly no plate of Will Wheaton. Gronar tells you to seek out Poomchucker in the village market. As soon as you enter the tangle of streets and shops, you are lost. Even with our magic ring? You ask for directions several times, and eventually a group of laughing young boys escorts you to a large house on the edge of the market. You knock on the door, and it's answered by a goblin. Not a goblin warrior like those whom you have fought, but a goblin serving girl. She escorts you to the library where Poomchucker sits. He is one of the oddest men you have ever seen. Very tall and immensely fat with bright red skin. It's Magnus! You tell him your story and ask if he's looking for someone like you. Yes, I am, he rumbles. But what makes you think you can live in Scorpion Swamp when so many others have died there? If we tell him about the old woman and the powers of the brass ring, please type ring into the chat. If we smile and say we are a skilled fighter, please type fight into the chat. So ring or fight, that is our next decision. What a moment for me to join the chat. Jen, welcome! And Jen, I don't know if you noticed, but you were gifted a Mirror Manga YouTube membership. So very lovely to have you back in the green again. Dom says, Poomchucker looks like Buster Blood Vessel. Alex says, I wasn't seeing it as a euphemism, just what a name. What's a guy with that name getting up to on the regular? Alex, let's hope we never find out. Tony says he's Baron Harkonnen. He is. It's a June world and everything else is just derived from it. Tony says fight. Tony, you're really going against the grain today. Tony's feisty. Dom says ring. Nige Caprice ring. Happy Haribo says he would be a terrible estate agent for Scorpion Swamp. Fat Rascal, I'm imagining an Adam West Batman style soundbite description. Poomchucker! Pigeon Smith, I was none the wiser and had to Google too. Learned something new and all that. Just enjoyed the rhyme with boom. Jen says, thanks to whoever gave me the membership. David says fighter. Will Inspector says pool operations office manager. So Will Inspector, our resident scientist, has given Poomchucker the acronym name of Pool Operations Office Manager Chucker. And considering we are a well inspectorate, perhaps we do have a pool operations manager. Tony says, this cough is making me feisty. I've got a cough too, Tony. I feel like I'm so ill. Headache, cold, cough, all the things. Phil says fighter. Jen says, to be fair, regarding the estate agent comment, I can't imagine many people are asking for houses in Scorpion Swamp. It's not Des Res, but it's up and coming. So let's count up the votes. I've got 1, 2, 3 people saying fighter and 3 people saying, will we tell them about the ring or say we're a good fighter? What will we do? Somebody needs to break the tie. David Gibb says the Rock might be the king of Scorpion Swamp. Very good, David Gibb. Very good. We like it. I need somebody to break the tie. Okay, Happy Haribo has said smile and say you're a skilled fighter. He gives a deep rumbling laugh and you are certain that you see the bookshelves quiver. He's not at all offended by your reticence. In fact, he's now convinced that you are the fighter he needs. I'll tell you my secret, he explains. I'm not a wizard at all, but merely a merchant from another land. I've bought many powerful spells and artifacts. Thus, people believe that I am a mighty magician, and I let them think so because they treat me with more respect. With a name like Poomchucker, I can see why you do that. You ask what Poomchucker wants in Scorpion Swamp. Information, he replies. If I had a map of the path through the swamp, I could send caravans through and save weeks and weeks of time in my trading. If you can bring me a map showing a clear path to the town of Willowbend on the north side of Scorpion Swamp, I will pay you half the money that I saved during the first year. You realise this could amount to hundreds of gold pieces, but you are still wisely cautious. If you're not a wizard, what magic can you give me to help me survive the swamp, you ask? He laughs deeply. I told you that I buy many magic spells. Each of these gems here will let you cast one spell. He spills a box of glittering gems onto the table. You may pick any 5 to take. I do not think we should need that many, but I am generous. So, we can choose a skill spell gem, a stamina spell gem, a luck spell gem, a fire spell gem, an ice spell gem, an illusion spell gem. You shake hands with Poomchuck. Well, we'll do that next. We need to pick 5. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spells available. Can everybody please type 2 spells that they would like to take us into the chat. Alex says, so talking about Poomchucker being an acronym for Pool Operations Office Manager Chucker, Alex would like to clarify, does he go around finding pool operations office managers and chucking them? Nige says, I've listened to too much Radio 4 not to go for an option about the power of a brass ring. I'm afraid that's over my head, Nige, and I hope your head is not hurting. Dom says, coincidentally, I just got killed by some Death Skull Scorpions on Fallout 4 survival mode. I have to say, I downloaded... I went to see if I could play Fallout New Vegas on the PlayStation, and I can only play if I sub, and you can't stream it. So I'm not going to play Fallout New Vegas. Maybe I'll get it for my PC, but I'm so bummed I can't play it on the PlayStation and stream it. So Haribo says fire and ice. Capri says illusion. Phil says fire and illusion. David says leave the luck one and take the rest. Dom says luck and skill. Tony says luck and skill. Will says fire illusion. Happy Haribo says Mornington Crescent. And Nige says fire and ice. So we've got a lot of people who are saying fire. Okay, this spell will set one medium. We're going to take that. I'll take that gem. 3 people have said illusion. And then 1, 2 people have said ice. And then David said leave luck, but a couple of people have asked for luck and skill. So let's get luck and skill. And David, I'm too scared to be without luck. Okay, so we have 5 spells. Yay, us. So, where will that show up? Wait, no. Oh, they're not showing up. Well, hopefully they will. And the game isn't bugged out. I mean, we've already had 1 bug. Please, Lord, don't let the game be bugged out. Jen says, I feel like Mr. Chucker has an advantage here. Even if he fails, we hasn't actually lost anything. I agree. You shake hands with Poomchucker. His grip is surprisingly strong, and the Goblin Girl takes you downstairs. You walk through the busy market and across Fen March towards the swamp. Is the game bugging? The quest is this. Find your way north across the swamp to the town of Willow Bend and return to Poomchucker with a map. Okay, we can do that. So, we are now 10 minutes to the top of the hour. And Alexa, turn the light white. I think that's a good place to stop before we tread directly into the swamp and get into our game. Let's call it quits there so we can do some poetry before our knocking off of 9 o'clock. Let's step out of the game. And yeah, I was getting a little bit worried there that the game was gonna mess up. Oh, Dom Elfkicker, yay! Thank you so much. Dom's done a $5 for us all. What a lovely... You've done a little pair as well. Yay! Thank you so much for the super thanks. Thank you, Dom. That's fantastic. Yay! See, I also should say that the people who always try and tell me to ask for donations and money both texted me saying see and told me well done. So thank you all for being so generous this evening. Oh my gosh, Just Hex. Who's Just Hex? A noob. I don't even think we've been introduced. Thank you so much, Just Hex, for the amazing donation. $10 US. $10 US. Not going to anything bad in America, but to good things happening here. Yay, thank you so much. Could you buy Nuke Vegas? I think I might be able to buy it on my gaming PC, but PlayStation 4 will not allow you to buy it. You have to just play it on PlayStation Plus. I am going to try and get hold of a PC game controller, and then I could stream Fallout New Vegas on my PC using OBS, I believe. I really suck at streaming on my PC, but I'm going to try and learn. But thank you for joining us, and yay. And if other people would like to see me stream Fallout New Vegas, I want to stream it because I love playing Fallout 4. And I want to play New Vegas so I can get all the in-jokes in the new series of Fallout, which is on 17th, starts on Wednesday the 17th. Dom says it's tip week at work, so I had a bit to spare. Yay! Thank you so much, Dom, for sharing your tips. David says you can use your PlayStation controller with your PC. I know, David, but my PS4 is really old, and my PlayStation 4 controllers blink out and all the time, like every day I use my PlayStation 4, I'm having to like turn it on and off again to reconnect my controllers. So I would like something I can hardwire in to my PC. That would be incredible. Gal Miraz is doing the green laughing face, not going to anything bad in America. We have to make only good things happen with our money. And thank you so much. Hex, what a lovely gift to give. I appreciate it so much. So how can I say thank you better than with the gift of poetry which I have been gifted? So we will be reading 4 poems today. I am still using improvised bookmarks, but that's okay. We also are continuing with our Wendy Cope, The Orange, which has had a bookmark donated by AJ from Pretending with Dice, which is a podcast where you can... Oh my God! Fat Rascal, thank you, has given us £10. Woo-woo! For the Biscuit Fund. Well, let me tell you what, Fat Rascal. I only bought 2 Tim Tams this evening because I was being a moderate. But guess what I'm going to do now? I've had an extra tenner. That's right. I'm going to go ham and buy a bunch of Tim Tams. So thank you so much. That's amazing. Happy Haribo says you can get an old PS3 for next to nothing and play New Vegas on that. But then I still have to buy the game from the game store, and then can I stream from a PS3? I'm not sure. I will investigate. Thank you. Dom says, I would like some Vogan poetry from the Hitchhiker's Guide. Dom, I don't think there's any actual published Vogan property. Ipek says, I have a PS3 you can use. Ipek, are you for real? Let's talk offline. Gal Moraz says, we're going ham on the Tams. We're going ham on the Tim Tam. Oh, I'm going into the poetry at such an elevated rate. I literally think my temperature's gone up and I now have a fever on top of my headache and sore throat. I definitely have a virus. Jen says, the Fat Rascal, here's an important question. Does the Biscuit Fund cover Jaffa Cakes? Abso-freaking-lutely it does, Jen Faye H. I think that's a great suggestion. In fact, why don't we read from the Orange? And as I was saying, the bookmark has been donated by AJ from the Pretending with Dice podcast, and I can recommend it. AJ also streams Guitar Hero sometimes, which I love to watch on Twitch. We are going to read a poem called Titch Miller from The Orange by Wendy Cope. Titch Miller. Titch Miller wore glasses with elastoplast pink frames and had 1 foot 3 sizes larger than the other. When they picked teams for our outdoor games, she and I were always the last 2 left standing by the wire mesh fence. We avoided one another's eyes, stooping, perhaps, to retie a shoelace or affecting interest in the flight of some unfortunate bird, and pretended not to hear the urgent conference. Have Tubby! No, have Titch! Usually they chose me, the lesser dud, and she lolloped unselected to the back of the other team. At 11 we went to different schools. In time I learned to get my own back, sneering at the hockey players who couldn't spell. Titch died when she was 12. Well, thank you, Wendy Cope. I think that's a very sad poem, but what a tribute. Titch Miller. I don't know about you guys, but I was a little nerdling and I was not very good at sport. And I turned out bloody brilliant. So that's one for the nerds. Thank you, Wendy Cope. Heartbreaking and moving. Oh, Tony, thank you so much. Tony! Oh, fabuloso! Thank you so much for the Mr. Poomchucker Fund. I dread to think what the Poomchucker Fund will cover. I do not want any suggestions, but I'm glad we've chosen Poomchucker. He's in the free market. He's trying to connect people, communicate with his caravan of merchandise and spells, and let him have at it. David Gibbs says that was depressing. I agree, David. Poems around death are depressing, but we experience them together as part of our Sunday scaries because, sadly, death is part of life's rich tapestry. It's a shitty part. It's a part that I don't agree with, and I really think we should have found rejuvenate treatments like they all do in 40K, but I would rather be with all of you talking about death and facing it head on and thinking about how precious our companions are. We must make the most of them in life and remembering the people that have died that I love hugely, like my pops. So sending you a big hug, David Gibb. I didn't mean to depress you. We're going to read some more poems that may or may not depress us, but they will change our state of mind. Neil says, can you all see my chat comments? I can see that one. Jen said, I think that should be counted as extra money for Jaffa cakes. I'm pretty sure Mr. Chucker would approve. I agree. And yes, I like that we're calling him Mr. Chucker. The next poem is from Essential Poems, which are the picks from this trilogy. We were using a benign piece of blue tack paper, but now we will be using amazing picture postcard from Chloris Books. So Chloris Books, I can now reveal, is my Black Library Black Market friend who has been helping me find the rarest books in all of Black Library-dom and sent me my Visions of the Heresy book recently. Do you seek the righteous salvation of the light, the truth that keeps all in steadfast loyalty? Or have you drifted, seen the unseeable, and now crave the whisperings of endless potential? Perhaps the lives of mankind are of no interest to you, a page of time like any other, an enemy like any other. Chloris cares not. All are welcome. Do not let your feedback go unwritten, for if you do, Chloris will purr out your soul. So yes, can recommend Chloris Books. And I think the next poem we're reading will be called Begin by Brendan Kennelly. Begin. Begin again to the summoning birds, to the sight of light at the window. Begin to the roar of morning traffic all along Pembroke Road. Every beginning is a promise born in light and dying in dark. Determination and exaltation of springtime flowering, the way to work. Begin to the pageant of queuing girls, the arrogant loneliness of swans in the canal. Bridges linking the past and future. Old friends passing though with us still. Begin to the loneliness that cannot end, since it perhaps is what makes us begin. Begin to wonder at unknown faces, at crying birds in the sudden rain, at branches stark in the willing sunlight, at seagulls foraging for bread, at couples sharing a sunny secret, alone together while making good. Though we live in a world that dreams of ending, that always seems about to give in, something that will not acknowledge conclusion insists that we forever begin. Brendan Kennelly, a great song. Thank you so much. Woo! I nearly dropped my book. See, that was a good uplifting one, wasn't that, David Gibb? So lovely. What is a Jaffa? Just Hex. Just Hex. You need to experience a Jaffa cake. It is a soft sponge, biscuit-shaped morsel with chocolate and orange on top. Like a very thin layer of, like chocolate layer, then like an orange jelly, like marmalade but without strands in, and then a little, like a Madeleine type sponge underneath. Haribo says, you could risk another Haribo poem, but failing that, the poems you choose in the books are always good. Next week we'll do one of yours. Poomchucker sounds like an Aussie biscuit, says Tony. David Gibbs says they sell yards of Jaffa cakes at this time of year. I'm going to have to look out for a yard of Jaffa cake. What? Tony agrees that Poomchucker sounds like an Aussie biscuit. The whole 9 Jaffa cake yards. You're making it up. Jen says, what if I want a foot or meters? We're not going to get into the old imperial debate. Gal Miraz says, I need to figure out how to access Chloris, not on my version of eBay. Tired of this place. I'll post up Chloris's deets in the comments on this video if he is happy with that. Jaffa and orange chocolate cake biscuits or a Gould slave warrior. Is that a Stargate reference? Damn, Happy Haribo has an unopened pack. David Gibbs says sponge, orange jelly and dark chocolate. Thank you, David Gibb. You got us there much quicker than I did. So where do we go? We have these 3. So Neil Astley, let us go back. So we have Staying Alive. Thank you so much, Gal Miraz, for sending us this book. And this is the first poem we will be reading from this book. The book says, Staying Alive is an international anthology of 500 life-affirming poems fired by belief in the human and the spiritual at a time when much in the world feels unreal, inhuman and hollow. And the first poem for you, David Gibb, is called Living. And it's by Denise Levertov. See, David Gibb, we're going to make it all better. Living. The fire in leaf and grass, so green it seems each summer, the last summer. The wind blowing, the leaves shivering in the sun, each day the last day. A red salamander, so cold and so easy to catch, dreamily moves his delicate feet and long tail. I hold my hand open for him to go. Each minute the last minute. There you go. By Denise Levertov, excuse me. I don't have a bookmark for this book, so I have got my little... Is this you, Haribo? P.S. Somebody bought me some socks from my wish list to help keep me warm on my nature walks. So whoever P.S. is, thank you. We will next go to Being Alive, which is the sequel to Staying Alive. Let's have a look. Where are we here? Again, we have a blue tack bookmark. So if anyone would like to donate a bookmark that can advertise them, please do so. So our next poem is called Symposium by Paul Muldoon. This is a good one. This is a good one for anybody who likes allegories. I think that's what they're called. Symposium. Pigeon Smith! It's you, your PS. God, Pigeon Smith, you have so many names. Thank you so much, Pigeon. PS. Thank you. So PS was the one who bought those walking books as well. Gosh, we need to settle on one name, don't we, Pidgey? Right. Symposium. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it hold its nose to the grindstone and hunt with the hounds. Every dog has a stitch in time. 2 heads. You've been sold 1 good turn. 1 good turn deserves a bird in the hand. A bird in the hand is better than no bread. To have your cake is to pay Paul. Make hay while you can still hit the nail on the head. For the want of a nail, the sky might fall. People in glass houses can't see the woods for the new broom. Rome wasn't built between 2 stools. Empty vessels wait for no man. A hair of the dog is a friend indeed. There's no fool like the fool who shot his bolt. There's no smoke after the horse is gone. Symposium by Paul Muldoon. Okay. Wow. I love that one. That's so clever. What wordplay. What wordplay. We love that. Finally, the last book of the evening is Staying Human. Thank you, Tony Holton. Pigeon Smith says, but not Pidgey. Happy Haribo says, who is the Grimdark Buddy we send things to for you, Mira? The Grimdark Buddy is Historitus Gemaldus, And if you email me at the email address, which is on the bio of the YouTube channel, I check in with Historitus Jamaldus and see if he is happy to be sent the thing. And if he is, then I'm allowed to send you his address and he send things on for me. And our final poem of the evening, I'm really sad about. Our final poem of the evening. So I think the poem from this evening is Bonsai Master by John Barr. Bonsai Master. The trick is not to neglect it just enough, but to deny it just enough. Decades of managing the stresses of survival, the exacting balance of staying alive, but only just. The importance of suffering to the sublime against the inevitable grounds for remorse. John Barr. Bonsai Master by John Barr. I don't think I understand this. The trick is not to neglect it just enough, but to deny it just enough. Decades of managing the stresses of survival, the exacting balance of staying alive, but only just. The importance of suffering to the sublime against the inevitable grounds for remorse. I guess, yeah, when you're thinking about how you temper a little bonsai tree, you have to make it suffer and prune it so it doesn't die but keeps going. Sometimes life feels a little bit like that, doesn't it? Well, I think I'm absolutely delirious because I've been feeling so sick, but this session has been so lovely and helpful. I am hoping to do like maybe a special Christmas thing with some friends of the channel, but I've been so ill and busy and calamity and biblical things happening that I haven't organised everything I wanted to, but I'm hoping to get some friends of the channel to pop up over Christmas. Certainly we will be together the last Sunday before Christmas, which I think is, what date will that be? 21st of December. So we'll think of some fun stuff to do. But thank you all so much for hanging in there. It's lovely to be back in the fighting fantasy realm, isn't it? Thank you so much to everybody. We've had so many kind donations today. I really can't believe it. So yeah, I'm just going to go through and thank everybody. Let's see. Let me go to the actual video and have a look. You can see in the chat right there. Let's see, fan funding. Wowie zowie. So Alex sent 5 Miramanga gift memberships. Galmaraz renewed the Dreadnought status. The amazing Neil has returned and is still being a Dreadnought. Galmaraz sent 5 Miramanga gift memberships. Fat Rascal sent 10 Miramanga gift memberships. Dom Elfkicker sent a pair, doing a mic drop with 5 English pounds. Just heck, thank you for the $10, which we will use for good in the UK, including Jaffa Cakes. Fat Rascal sent us £10 for the biscuit fund, which will go to Tim Tams and Jaffa Cakes 100%. Tony sent £5 to the Mr. Poomchucker fund. And Alex, thank you so much, Alex, with 2 unicorns. You already did some memberships. Thank you so much, Alex. That's so kind. Great stream as always. Hope you feel better soon. Thank you. I do feel good. I feel like the stream is beautiful because we've come back to our roots, fighting fantasy. And Nige says, great stream, Nightmare and I all take care. Nige, please rest up, drink plenty of water and look after your head. I hope they gave you painkillers. David, hot shot a lemon slip. I will try. David Gibb, 30mm lemonade, 15 seconds in the microwave. Add a whole sachet of lemon sip and down in one. I've got some Sprite in the fridge, David. I might try that. Nige says, mulled paracetamol. Merry Christmas. Caprice, thank you for the grand scream and all lucks with the week. Thank you. All lucks to everyone with all the weeks. Happy Haribo, stay safe and get well. You too yourself. Good night, lovely Jen. Look forward to your message on Monday. Tony, thank you so much for the gift of poetry. Is there too much poetry now, Tony? You tell me. You're the lead instigator. Anyway, I'm tired. You're tired. Let's have a lovely evening. And I'll see you all next Sunday. Sending love. Thanks so much, everybody. Good night.